What is up, everybody? Welcome back to racingdudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby contenders profiles for the 2026 Kentucky Derby. Make sure to go to the website and go to racingdudes.com. Check out the Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby betting Bible. Right now, it is for sale for pre-sale, and it'll be out the week of the race. We'll have all the picks out and ready for you. All right, let's get to the contender update here, and let's go to Chief Wallabee for this one. A horse that's very popular. 3 starts all coming this year. So unraced as a 2-year-old. 3 starts this year. 1 first, 1 second, 1 third for this Bill Mott trainee. Can Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado, can they do it again after winning with Sovereignty last year? Well, the maiden special weight for Chief Wallabee couldn't have been any more impressive. Just a dominant effort over the Puma, who has turned out to be a very good horse as well. A horse that's right up there this Kentucky Derby ranking as well. So very good maiden special weight win there for Chief Wallabee. Came back in the Fountain of Youth Stakes and ran extremely well again. A wide trip, kind of a poor trip throughout. Still was able to get second, only beating a neck to Commandment. A horse that's turned out to be very, very good. So, no worries there. The Florida Derby is where the worries started to kind of come up. A horse got a really good trip this time and still finished third, beating 3/4 of the length behind the Puma and Commandment. Wallabee got a pretty good trip versus Commandment's trip this time and still wasn't able to get the job done. Kind of watch the head on, though. The horse kind of shies away from other horses when they get around him. He kind of ran in spots. It looks like he's going to be well beaten. Then he kind of re-rallies again to only lose by 3/4. So he was definitely a horse running in spots. Junior Alvarado said after the race, felt like the horse was loaded. He just didn't run as hard as I thought he would when turning for home. So when we look at this horse from a pedigree standpoint, we're not overly concerned about 1.25 miles. That's for sure, being out of Constitution, out of a Medaglia d'Oro mare. I think he should be fine going 1.25 miles. I think he ran okay going 1.125 miles. His gallop out was very good. He won the gallop out once again. That's something that he's been doing, right? Pedigree looks good. Past performances, hey, just 3 races, but he's ran pretty well, and so everything feels good there. Running style, I think he sits a very good trip. I think he's kind of in the stalking / middle of the pack here in this race. Maybe towards the back of the stalkers, the very front of the middle of the pack type of runners, if you kind of view and how they bunch up a little bit into those kind of categories. I think that's kind of where he falls. Look, in the Florida Derby, he wasn't that far off the pace at all. So I think he is a handy horse, and I think running style is pretty good. I think his resume is pretty good. Now let's get into the negatives, and it all really comes at the Florida Derby because, look, I think in the Fountain of Youth, he got second. He was narrowly defeated, and you could make a lot of excuses. And the biggest one was, hey, it's his second lifetime start, right? But in the Florida Derby, I thought he took a kind of a step backwards. And honestly, I thought turning for home, this was a horse that was going to win by a length or two. He got a beautifully inside tracking position the whole race, just in a real good spot, swung him out to make his run and kind of keep him out of trouble or whatever at the top of the lane. And at the top of the stretch, like I said, I thought he was loaded and ready to run. And he just got past and he kind of just stopped running and he kind of shied away from horses and he showed a lot of immaturity. And then lo and behold, the last 50 yards of the race, here he comes again. He's re-rallying. He sees the Puma and he sees Commandment ahead of him and he goes and tries to catch him again. Now, who's to say he was going to run by him? I don't know if he would have ran by him or not, but he may have ran up next to him and then kind of stopped again. Who knows? But the problem is these are not good things. These are things it's like, man, that's maturity that he's going to have to get. He's going to have to just kind of get over that. He's got Bill Mott on his side. That's great. I think that's one of the main reasons I'm not giving up on him, because I think Bill Mott can figure this horse out. But the flip side of it, and the problem is for me, the Kentucky Derby might not be the best race to figure things out in. You want to figure things out before you get there. He worked with blinkers on. So as I'm kind of describing what he was doing, blinkers probably would help him to stay a little more focused. But equipment changes leading into the Kentucky Derby, that's never a good sign. So that's kind of a negative when it comes to the Derby. So those are the negatives leading up to it for me. All right, look, let's talk about the final verdict here on Chief Wallabee. I'm still in on him. I have him in the top 5. It could end up being my pick. we're still 2 weeks out, and, come back to the website. I'll give you my full pick, or my, the final pick, I should say, once we're here. But I'm not done with him, because I see the talent. The talent is certainly there. He's just got to get over the immaturity stuff. And like I said, it's probably not the best race to have to do that, but he does have Bill Mott on his side. And, you think about Sovereignty last year, he didn't run just the greatest Florida Derby ever before going on the run that he went on to end the season. So, Sovereignty can do kind of the similar type of thing. If he puts it all together on Derby Day, he certainly could win it. So I think he still is a primetime player, even with all the problems that we've kind of went over. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching this video. Hit that like button if you like. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, stay tuned to the channel for more Kentucky Derby news.